What's up? A to Z Sports here live on a Tuesday. It is training camp report day. It's also report day for a new show host for A to Z Sports for this upcoming Titan season and beyond. Excited about that. There are three people on the screen. It's me, it's Easton, and it's a new guy. And so we'll talk about that new guy here in a second. But for now, he will be silenced until we introduce him officially to let him have his first words here with his new job. But going to have a great show today, not only because we're introducing a new face to the family and also setting up training camp, but man, going to have a lot of things we're going to get to today. We're going to talk about the report that Easton put out yesterday on A2Zsports.com about L'Jarius Sneed and Lloyd Cushenberry, their injury situations, and the confidence that the team may have and the confidence that we have or don't have in them being ready for week one this NFL season. And with our new guy, we are trying to figure out what side of the fence are you going to live on. And so we've got rapid fire Titans takes for our new guy, JT Runke, that we're going to put him through the ringer and figure out, are you going to be on this side of the argument or that side of the argument? And these, six, Easton? How many we come up with? Six-ish?
Six-ish, a half dozen or so. Yeah.
So we're just going to just throw him at JT and make him just what do you think? Tell me what you think. So do you agree with me? Do you agree with Easton? Do you agree with people in the chat? So that I think is a great get to know you of did the Titans do the right thing by letting Derrick Henry walk? What do you think? No, that's not one of them, but we're going to have a good show here, and then it's throwing shade. So not only will JT start off his first show with rapid fire takes, but we also have to make him say something mean about something in his life at the end of the show. So welcome in Easton, welcome in JT, welcome in chat. Easton, tell the people what they got to do here before we officially get going.
Yeah, good morning, Austin. Good morning, JT. And good morning to everybody in the chat. Hope everybody's having a great start to your Tuesday. It is officially time for Titans training camp. Got our first facility activity happening today. Not quite practice yet, but we'll be there talking to the folks that you want to hear from. So excited about that. JT and I will be there. JT in his capacity as a new A to Z employee. We are going to get everything that you need, and that's going to be a good time. But this morning, looking forward to talking to JT and finding out all of these things that I don't know about this guy that I hardly know. I have many questions, like what's your favorite color and where did you grow up? And, do you enjoy Nashville and how long have you lived here? Things that I don't already know about him. Looking forward to getting to all of those things, but we need you to like the show this morning. Hit that like button on Facebook, on YouTube, like the show, and then jump into the comments. Want to hear your thoughts on JT as a new host. You guys hated me when I came here, so I expect you to hate him too. And you'll learn to love him over the season. That's how it goes. You guys are going to love having JT around. In all seriousness, really, really stoked to have him on. Very cool full circle moment, because if you don't know, JT and I have worked together for a long time.
I'm going to let you do something. Yeah. Get to the regular stuff here, and then I'll do something.
I didn't want to miss my opportunity to talk about.
No.
Okay, right.
I got you. So tell the people what they got to do. We'll get officially going here, and then
like the show.
Yeah.
Give us a 5-star Google review.
Yep.
Jump in the comments.
Exactly.
Okay, Austin, now you can start the show.
All right, welcome to A to Z Sports here live on this Tuesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Refreeze, our Titans reporter for A to Z Sports. Refreeze. Yeah, we can refreeze some of your takes from yesterday. But also JT Runke, new Titans host for A to Z Sports here, making his debut. But got to thank our sponsors because they truly make it happen for us, and they help out all of you. Wilson County Hyundai, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them at 11 or online, WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. And our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. They are local and online at bartondrury.com. Easton already said it, but I'll say it again. 5-star Google review and like the show. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, hit that like button. That goes a long way for us. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, because training camp starts today with a press conference. The first practice is tomorrow on Wednesday, which means our YouTube channel is about to be cranked up because we're going to have so many pieces of content out there. And so now we will officially welcome in JT Runke. So Easton, I will let you do the official intro, but I will go back and set the table a little bit. So back in April, Sam informs Zach and I that he is changing career paths with what he's doing now, covering his beloved White Sox and doing more reality television entertainment type things. So I, like every college athletic director, goes on a national search to find the best person for the job.
I think it was international, right? I mean, you were
maybe
all corners of the globe we were searching.
Exactly. Yeah, I will not go to no ends, but it was this little chatter in my ear constantly that was Easton. It's like, hey, I got this guy, JT. You should look at JT. You should look at JT. You should look at JT. I'm like, damn it, I got to go national. I got to go national search. But it turns out that JT was the best guy for the job. And Easton, you gave him a glowing review, and he fit the spot through all the interview process. So, Easton, I will let you introduce JT, and then we'll finally let JT say something.
Yeah, I can't believe that I successfully conned you into hiring this guy. What a successful gambit by me. Listen, JT and I did our show, the Hot Read Podcast, for 2 years before I joined A to Z. He was my longest running partner on that show, which is what I did for 3 or 4 years before coming to A to Z. And JT and I go back a long ways. We were college roommates at Belmont. That's when we met. Back in 2019, something like that. And we have been really, really great friends ever since then. He can tell you more about his background in college, but we at a Christmas party one time, I was looking for somebody to do my podcast with because James Foster, Small World, had moved on to A to Z, and I needed somebody else to do the show with. And he was like, I'd do it. And so we just kind of figured it out. And that took us to cool places like going to the Senior Bowl and the Combine and covering the Titans in London and doing a bunch of cool stuff together. And then I had to tearfully inform him. See, Austin, I do have a heart. There are certain things that make me upset. I had to tearfully inform him last summer that I would be joining A to Z, and that I would be handing the reins of the podcast over to him because, beg you as I might, the podcast could not exist in its form, which was a reasonable thing because it turns out I'm pretty busy over here at A to Z. Couldn't do both things. And so for the past year, he and our good friend Sony Keeley have been doing that podcast very successfully. The reviews that I've heard, frankly, is that it got better the second I left, which I don't know how to feel about that, but that is what I've been told. And then with Sam leaving, which I was very sad. Speaking of tearful moments, sad to see Sam go, but happy that he gets to cover the team that he truly loves. I went to you and I said, this hire is a non-question. It is your national search you can do for posterity, but there is only one answer to who we should bring in, and that is J.K. Runke. So I'm glad that this worked out. I am super excited about this season, and I hope I didn't steal all of JT's thunder. JT, tell us about yourself. Welcome aboard. How are you?
8 minutes, 5 seconds. JT's first words. Go ahead.
Must be a new record.
That's right.
For how long you can stare at a camera before you actually get to say a word. What's up, A to Z crew? Good to see you guys in here. Like Easton said, excited to be here with you guys. Been the host of the Hot Read Podcast for the last year or so. Been covering the Titans for a little bit longer than that. For a good majority of the time I've been in Nashville for, I think it's now 7-8 years that I've been here, been covering them for about 3.5-4 years now. Excited to bring my coverage and content over to you guys here on the A to Z morning show, and hopefully as well, not let Easton talk as much anymore. One of the reasons why I think it's good that I'm now on here is because you'll learn that I do like to challenge Easton a lot on a lot of his ideas. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun, especially getting into this year. Went to Belmont, like he said, been doing a lot of different things in the sports world until I ended up working on the Hot Read Podcast and doing producing and video editing, which is some of the stuff I've been doing in the background for A to Z for about a week and a half now or so. But excited to finally get back on the camera, talk some Titans as training camp officially opens today. Like Easton said, me and him will be once again working together over at the facility later today. So excited to do that. Excited to get into the show today.
Yep. So we will do that. And I see some quick comments. Randy, all right, good start, clowning Easton. And then also Valentino. Well, I like JT already. He's anti-Easton. This is great already. Some really good returns coming in from your first 90 seconds of talking.
This is true, by the way, right here. They're going to hate you for a month or two, but it's because it's hate of endearment. They're going to give you a hard time. Pay no attention to them. Frankly, they're probably going to give you an easier time than they gave me because you're so anti-me. That's a good tack for you to take.
Absolutely. So we will get to, because people were already asking JT questions, we will get to rapid fire Titans take for JT with our second topic here, because we have a lot to get to. We have a lot of trying to figure out what side of the fence is he on with some important topics overall. Some people were asking questions about Zach. Nothing's changed with Zach. He comes on Mondays during the season after Titans games, and that will continue. Sam has moved on to covering his favorite team in the world, the White Sox, who I don't know if they've improved in the standings or not since Sam started covering them. But
JT would know better than us. He's
so just to kind of go over some things. So I'm still going to be here a lot. Easton's still going to be here a lot. Now JT is going to be here a lot, and including game day shows. So game day shows will be the rotation of the three of us sitting right here. So you will either be hopeful with a pregame show, some level of pissed off or optimistic at the halftime show, and then another level of pissed off or happy for the postgame show. But it'll be the three of us throughout the season that will be reacting to game days with you on top of the regular morning show duties. Training camp practices get started tomorrow. Easton and I will be broadcasting from the Titans facility tomorrow morning before practice, and then we'll navigate our way through the training camp schedule. But Easton, we do have news to get to, and then we will get to know JT after that. So you reported yesterday.
I hate you people.
I do think the three of us have three different voices, so I think that's a good thing for the show.
It's true.
Yes.
You can listen to the podcast and know exactly who's talking to you.
Exactly. Sometimes when shows have voices that are too similar, it's kind of like I can't tell who exactly that was. But anyway, Easton, the news that you reported yesterday after all the Will Levis stuff was that the Titans will be without two starters, at least to start training camp, with L'Jarius Sneed and Lloyd Cushenberry going on PUP. I will let you update us on what you've reported.
Yes. So this was something that was trending this way. If you were really grinding my written work at A to Z Sports, during the 4th of July weekend, the second week in July, what better things people have to do than read these high quality articles of mine in just the absolute depths of summer. You would know that both of these guys were trending in this direction. I know that Paul Kaharski has mentioned as much on the radio. This became kind of a topic. What was it, 3 or 4 weeks ago when L'Jarius Sneed finally spoke to somebody this summer when he went to do his kids camp back in his hometown, spoke to KTAL local news over there, and said that he was, quote, healthy as I've ever been, which is an interesting thing to say for a guy that's not healthy enough to practice yet. I don't really know. What's the charitable read on that he's as healthy as he's been so far in his recovery? Like today, I am as old as I've ever been. Technically true, right? So I don't really know what he meant by that, but not healthy enough to practice quite yet. He's going to be put on PUP, reported that, as well as Lloyd Cushenberry. Both of these guys going to start on PUP. Not super surprising, I don't think, on the Cushenberry front. Everybody understands he's not been back yet, still recovering from that Achilles tear. We know that September 7th opening day is going to be just a couple of days past the 10-month mark for his recovery. And we know that with the injury, the timeline, the analytics, whatever on that injury, that's a pretty reasonable expectation to have a guy back or close to back by then. But with Sneed, it has been since week 5 we established yesterday. Yeah, week 5 of last season when he suffered that.
Week 6 because it was the bye week. Yeah,
that's right. So 5th game, 6th week of the season. Last year in October, took that helmet to the quad. It has gotten worse before it's gotten better. And while it has gotten better, that there is a silver lining here that the sources that I've spoken to in the building have emphasized to me that there is still optimism for not just Sneed, but both of these guys' timelines to return to play by September. Another thing that I find interesting, like I guess Sneed is on time on his timeline if you ignore the fact that I feel like we've changed his timeline 4 or 5 different times at this point. I guess if you just JT knows me, I'm somebody that has a bad habit of being late to things. I guess if you just change the time that you're supposed to show up to something, then you're never late, right? Technically,
that's why the show starts at what 8:12 every day is because Easton decides to change the time of the schedule.
Well, and listen, L'Jarius Sneed can't be late on his progress if we just keep changing the expectation, which now they've run up against a wall with it. The expectation, as they are setting forth, is return to play by September. It's what their team is hoping for. It's what I've been told, and I refute. We should all collectively, 3 of us, put our foot down and say, no more changing the goalposts on this one. The expectation, even though he's starting on PUP, which if folks don't know the procedure with PUP, you can be on PUP for 1 day, right? Like there's no rule for how long you have to be on this list. You can be on it today and off it tomorrow. You can be on it for all of training camp. It is just a designation for guys that cannot practice in any capacity quite yet. So there's a chance that we're talking in an excited tone 1 week from now, because L'Jarius Sneed only missed 2 practices and he's back out there for the first time. But we got to see that to believe it.
For sure. So we're already 16 minutes into this, and we have a lot of JT hot topics to get to. So let's go ahead and ask the question here to the chat this morning. And that question is going to be, who are you more confident in being ready to play week 1 for the Titans? Is it L'Jarius Sneed or is it Lloyd Cushenberry? Because, Easton, you're saying that there's optimism inside the building, that they think both guys are on that schedule to be ready to go week 1. But who are we more confident in? Is it L'Jarius Sneed? Is it Lloyd Cushenberry? We'll let you guys answer that in the chat. We'll hear from you momentarily. Maybe we'll let JT read answers, right? Let the new guys go in there. I think we should do that as well. So get your answers ready for JT. Who are you more confident being ready for week 1, Sneed or Cushenberry? But let me tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute. We're talking about injuries right now. We actually did a doc talk at the end of June, mid to end of June, about the Achilles injury that Lloyd Cushenberry had and how that's different from Tyrese Halliburton and some other NBA players that have popped that Achilles recently, and what that means for an offensive lineman type like Lloyd Cushenberry. And that was a lot of good findings that we had there talking to the Bone and Joint Institute. And if you have an injury, hopefully not an Achilles injury, that the old man injury that everybody fears,
that's you.
Yeah, that's me. That's me on the show. I am the old man on the show still. But that Achilles injury is scary. Hopefully that you avoid that. But the Bone and Joint Institute can be there for any type of injury that you have in life. It's a major inconvenience to get hurt. It ruins our family life. It gets in the way of social and work and all these other things. It's just a massive inconvenience. So take care of it and use the best in the area for that in Franklin online, boneandjointtn.org.
During that national search, Austin was really tempted to find some guy in his mid-50s so he could just no longer be the old man on the show. No dice on that one.
Yeah,
if you guys,
people are telling me that I need to hire old people that are not super young, and I'm like, well, these guys are way cheaper.
True. I was going to say they're out of touch, but no, frankly, JT, stay on the show after this. We're going to unionize. What was I going to say? Like the show and leave us a 5-star Google review. Search A to Z Sports on Google. Hit that 5th star on the right and give us whatever feedback you like. Tell us what you think about new host JT and leave it in the form of a 5-star review. We appreciate those.
All right, JT, to the chat you go. What are people saying? Who are they more confident in seeing be ready for week 1? Is it Cushenberry or Sneed? What's the chat saying?
It's actually pretty 50-50 from what I've seen. IR Hoshi says Cush, Titans Kyle, week 1, he thinks Sneed. Darius thinks Sneed. That Achilles scares him. Scott thinks Cushenberry. Dr. David Fan on Sneed. Biggie saying Cush, as well as Jeff. Darren saying, don't trust Sneed as far as I could throw him. Bearded says Lloyd easily. I don't think he could throw him very far. So I think that means he cannot trust him. Andre saying he has zero confidence for both. So taking the easy way out, not choosing one or the other there. Cap saying Sneed more likely to be healthy. He should just sit on the bench. So Belvis thinking Sneed. Jason also on Sneed. And Sean and saying Sneed, Curtis on Cushenberry, Rooney on Cushenberry, and Caleb on Sneed. So it looks like we're pretty 50-50, although we have a couple more here. Jorian, Edward, and Chris all saying Cushenberry as well.
So I did put up a YouTube poll, so we can actually get some YouTube data on this, Snead or Cushenberry. I'm honestly torn because in our pre-show call, I almost asked another question, right? Because I almost said net impact on the whole season because I felt like Snead was going to be the player more likely to be ready week 1, but I believe in Cushenberry staying healthy once he returns. But I don't know. So I'm going to answer with L'Jarius Snead. There is no way in hell the Titans can roll out there in Denver and L'Jarius Snead not be in a starting lineup.
Oh, there's a way.
No, they cannot allow that to happen.
Oh, there's a way.
They can, and if something new happens, that makes it maybe worse. But it's also really bad if nothing new happens and he just isn't ready almost a full 11 months from the injury, right? Like that would be insane. And so L'Jarius Snead has no choice but to play in Denver week 1. And he better play well too. Like that is how I feel about this. Lloyd Cushenberry has grace here. Lloyd Cushenberry tore his Achilles. He's a large man who tore his Achilles in early November. And I'm okay if he's not ready to go 10 months after the fact. But L'Jarius Snead has no excuse. He has to go out there and play. That's how I feel about it.
Would we feel this is an interesting kind of case study comparison here? Would we feel differently about Snead, maybe just our anger level, if he had just torn his quad or something? Like with Cushenberry, because it is. What sparked this in my mind is you said, well, there's grace with Cushenberry because he tore his Achilles, right? Like there's no getting around that. It's a bummer. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. We all understand what a torn Achilles means.
Yeah.
With Snead, it's not that he's hurt. It's that it's an injury that at first, I mean, I'm trying to remember exactly what the narrative was, but that first week, that Monday, that Wednesday press conference after Indianapolis, weren't we already talking about like, yeah, just a bad bruise, maybe a week or two. And that snowball.
It's hard. Yeah. Because there were two storylines coming out of that Colts game. It was Will Levis came back way too early from the shoulder and you could tell. Mm-hmm. And L'Jarius Snead cost him the game. And we didn't know that L'Jarius Snead was hurt.
Right. It became a third storyline. It's like, well, was he bad because he was hurt?
And then you're like, then why didn't they find out that he was hurt and pull him out of the game knowing that he couldn't cover Michael Pittman Jr.?
Right.
So, I mean, that's.
But then it was what, a month, 2 months later that we got kind of an update where we eventually were like, guys, where is Snead?
Well, and they're like, what's even crazier? That's also later that same week is when Traylon Burks tore his ACL in practice.
that week.
Hey, and guess what happened after that? They traded DeAndre Hopkins after he quit in the fourth quarter in the Buffalo Bills game. And Mason Rudolph, there was a lot of stuff that happened in like a 10-day
crackhead week. What an outrageous week of terrible, grimy storylines. But with Snead, I guess to my point is that because it is this kind of unclear, up in the air injury this whole time, and even now we know that it's a quad bruise that turned into a quad contusion that required, was it a marrow transplant or something along those lines? Some kind of experimental or rare treatment that he got later to try to accelerate the healing process. And even now, it's still a problem. I just think if he had done something as simple as tearing his quad or tearing his Achilles, we still would be more frustrated because Cushenberry was doing his job better before he got hurt than Snead was doing, right? So there's that frustration for how much you're paying Snead and how poor or how not great he was playing. But I think it's the unknown with Snead that really bothers us. Now that I've totally circumvented the question, I'll let JT speak, but my answer is also Snead. And the question you were going to ask Austin before the show about who has a bigger impact on the season, I'm with you 100%. I feel like with Cushenberry, I really am not sure when he gets back, but when he does get back, I think that he'll be maybe not great, but like steadying. With Snead, even when he's back, I'm going to be sitting on the edge of my seat every snap he takes, worried until we get a month or two, or hopefully 3 months into, okay, I can finally calm down because there's some consistency with this guy. It's going to take a lot for me to not worry about Snead once he's back. So I think Snead is the guy more likely ready for week 1 just because an Achilles is not something you trifle with.
Yeah, I think we're all three across the board agree that it has to be Snead, right? Just the injury alone, the timelines with, like you said, the grace period is because of how serious that Achilles injury is for Lloyd Cushenberry. I've been this entire time, even throughout the offseason, saying, hey, I don't think he was going to be ready even when we had the confidence for Lloyd Cushenberry, when coaches were saying, hey, he's going to be fine. I still do think there's a really good outside chance that the week 1 center is Corey Levin or someone like that currently. Snead, on the other hand, though, you're right. It's not just that this injury is so weird. It's also the fact that it's not the only injury that we have to worry about, right? Even though this is the one that has been keeping him out, there's always the outside, notion that could this knee injury that's been lingering and things like that continue to creep back in? How is he managing that as well, along with
don't put that out there
with the quad? And I think that's just a lot of factors to put into Snead's camp right now to say this guy needs to show up week 1 and he needs to be there for this team. Because like you alluded to as well, if he is not, this team's cornerback room, even though we've said that we like the depth, you're looking at Jarvis Brownlee Jr. as your outside cornerback 1 for this team starting week 1. I like Jarvis Brownlee Jr. I don't like him as a cornerback 1. He's a great cornerback 2 and is continuing to develop, but he is still a 5th round pick. That is a scary thought.
I think he's Easton. You love him too much. JT, he's not a great cornerback 2. He's a solid cornerback 2 because he's still a 2nd-year guy and has a lot to prove. But I think we all agree. Nobody wants Jarvis Brownlee Jr. as their cornerback 1.
No,
that is irresponsible.
At least not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Maybe next year. Maybe next year that can work. If you have to move on from Snead, which I believe there's an out on Snead's contract after year 2.
Yes.
Which is typical of those big deals. But I saw that super chat. I was going to get to that as well. Kick of the King says, not concerned about Snead. Wild. Usually was like this with the Chiefs when Snead was with them. If he's not playing week 1, then it's time to panic. I mean,
we found the calmest man on the planet about L'Jarius Snead.
Yeah, right.
We found him.
I don't see how you can be not concerned because, did he not practice very much with the Chiefs? Sure, but he didn't miss games. Unless it was the game that they held everybody out because they had already locked up the 1 seed in the West for like a month.
This is a time capsule comment, right? Like we saw these were the comments we saw exactly 1 year ago today when we were talking about him missing practices for injury management for the knee. We live in a different world than we lived in 1 year ago, right? Very different world.
100%. So we both agree, all three of us agree that Snead we're more confident in Snead being ready for week 1, but the YouTube poll is different. 54% say Cushenberry.
I think folks are
it's possible. Right?
I'm not saying it's not possible. I just think people are underselling recovery from an Achilles injury and maybe a little bit too burnt on Snead, which is understandable.
Which is why that's close to 50-50.
Yep.
And not flipped how we are. I mean, we're 100% Snead. They're close to 50-50 with Cushenberry having an opportunity to win that poll. So, Jason, I don't expect much from Snead, just another bad decision by Rand. And the guy who did it, who pushed the button from the other side, is now in Rand's chair.
Well, hey, listen, it's easy to dump on the guy that no longer works here, but I know who was actually on the phone for those trade talks, and it wasn't Rand. This guy's still in the building.
Chad.
So, I mean, Rand was the one who ultimately gave the thumbs up. Like, I'm not abdicating Rand's responsibility, but
that's, and we've been over this. Like,
if this flames out, it's going to be easy to be like, oh, another stupid Rand Carthon decision. Was it? And I love Chad Brinker. Like, no shade at Chad.
But the point is, whenever there's relationships, like you have that strongest relationship, go do your sales pitch for you. Because it's the warmest lead. It's the most likely. That's just how the world works. That's how JT got his job, right?
That's right. You got to know a guy.
Right here. Yeah, you got to know somebody. Somebody who
you know. Never hired this bum if I didn't work here.
I mean, Not necessarily, but I think that's the way the conversation began. Yeah.
No,
All
100%.
right. So let's get to know JT a little bit, because
Yes.
I think we've talked enough about Cushionberry and Snead. They will both be on PUP to start. Who knows how long they will be on PUP, but we have a rapid fire list of Titans takes for JT. We're going to pepper him and make sure we understand what side of the fence is JT going to live on. Because JT, here's a rule. Whenever we do 1 through 10 confidence levels, 5 is never an option. You can go decimals, but you cannot sit there on 5. So you cannot just be Switzerland and play nothing here. So we'll get to our rapid fire Titans takes for JT here in a moment, but we do want to tell everybody about our great partners. I got 2 Belmont grads here sitting with me, but Lipscomb University is changing the industry.
Do you have 2 Belmont grads?
No, I have 1 Belmont grad and 1 Belmont dropout.
Right.
I'll let the audience decide who they think is the grad and who they think is the dropout. But the Lipscomb University is changing the industry with their sports analytics program, with what they're doing across the country, because it's not just about Nashvillians. It's about anybody who has the passion for sports that wants to get into this industry. How can you do it? Lipscomb University Sports Analytics Program, an online grad program that can help you dive into this. There are no correct paths to getting to where you want to go in the sports media industry. There's so many different ways you can do it. The 3 of us, very different ways. Zach, different way than me. Buck, very different from us. It's anybody who has been on A to Z's platform has taken their own unique path. Lipscomb University can be your path, could be your path to getting to where you want to go with your passion of sports and sports media, whatever that looks like for you. Just check them out online, Lipscomb University, with their sports analytics program.
So much more to say, but first, make sure you've left us a 5-star review on Google. We really would appreciate those. Search A to Z Sports on Google, hit that 5th star on the right, and then say whatever you'd like. It can be positive, it can be negative, some constructive criticism. Never hurt. Listen, your feedback's a gift. We'll take it in any form, as long as it comes in the package of a 5-star review. We appreciate those. We do read those, and they help us out a lot on Google. So send us one of those this morning.
All right, so time for rapid fire JT questions from Easton and I. So we came up with a handful of these, and I'm trying to find, there it is.
The chat has added some to our list too.
Yeah. The chat has absolutely added some to our list. So I'm going to start where we left off yesterday, because we left off yesterday talking a lot about Will Levis and his decision to end his season with a shoulder surgery. So JT, we're going to go back. Did you like Will Levis as a quarterback draft prospect? And tell us why you, yes or no, didn't or did like Will Levis as a draft prospect.
I did not. I remember exactly where I was when he was drafted. I was at a New York Mets versus Atlanta Braves game when
who won that game?
I think it got rained out. So
that sounds all right.
So that's what happened there. But I remember you being on the day 2 live stream over at the Hot Read podcast, and with Stoney Keeley, and I remember calling in to that live stream from Citi Field in New York, and the only thing I did was laugh on the stream. I just laughed because I could not believe it. I simply could not. I was not a part of the Will Levis train. I was open to the experiment that went absolutely haywire very, very quickly into his second season, but was never on board to begin with.
All right. Point for me on this. I don't know. The points don't matter, just like whose lines anyway, but I will take a win for that one.
I'm already regretting stumping for JT to get this job, because clearly I'll give him props. He has a much better strategy for his onboarding with the chat and endearing himself to our audience than I did. I think he's going to undergo a lot less hate than I did to start off his tenure. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, there still is some in there. So you can't win them all, but
you can't win them all. No,
we're gonna get to some, I'm sure.
We've got to find a reason for folks to hate this guy. We're gonna keep peppering him with questions until we find something.
Easton, do you want to go to the top one on the list?
Sure. So speaking of quarterbacks, what do you think the Titans should do with their backup quarterback situation this year? If you were the GM today, what is the optimal situation for them at backup in 2025?
Thoughts, prayers, something like that along those lines.
Cross
Once
your
again,
fingers.
I'm gonna disagree with you, Easton, because I just do not understand how you can go into the season, especially if you're Brian Callahan and this staff, with Brandon Allen or Tim Boyle as your backup. Because knock on wood, I don't want to put anything out there, but if the worst case scenario were to happen, and you all know what the worst case scenario there, and one of those two has to play, you could pretty much kiss those jobs goodbye, because there is no possible way that a Brandon Allen or a Tim Boyle can win maybe even more than one game in the NFL at this stage of their career. I think they need to look all over the backup quarterback market, whether that be teams that put some of their younger quarterbacks on the practice squad. Carson Wentz is out there. I said that half jokingly yesterday when this came out. When the news came out, I don't necessarily disagree with that still, but I still think that it's a problem that they have Brandon Allen and Tim Boyle. And I was someone who was also saying trade Will Levis, fully well knowing that once they traded Will Levis, they needed to figure something out at the backup quarterback spot afterwards. So it's not that I was, now complaining since that Will Levis is out for the season. And I was also saying that I wanted him to be traded. I think it was a problem to begin with.
All right. So I actually agree with Easton. I think one of the smartest things that he said this entire offseason is the fact
And there were
that,
so many of them to choose
yeah,
from.
I mean, yeah, for sure. But one of the smartest things, not the smart, one of the smartest things was the fact of how he has kind of flipped in the backup quarterback with the Titan situation. You don't need a good backup quarterback for what? You need somebody who can help your rookie quarterback in the room weekdays, right? Practice days. And so, all right, there you go.
I'll just say this. If what JT
yeah.
said comes to fruition and a backup has to play a significant chunk of the season, God forbid, and that leads to the firing of this coaching staff, that is the day you'll want to tune into the A to Z morning show, because that is the day that I'll go scorched earth on an organization that is deeply unserious. If one of these current backup options has to play and their level of play is what gets a coaching staff fired, you are a deeply unserious organization.
Agreed. All right, next question. What should the Titans do with Treylon Burks this year?
A topic near and dear to Austin's heart. Careful with your answer here.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think his time is done. I mean, I think you can send him on his way, and because there's no way that he makes this team, in my opinion. I think his time as a Tennessee Titan is done. Whether that is flipped for a 2029 7th round pick or just sent on.
We're giving those
way.
out now already. 2029.
Yeah, but I think his time is done. He will be cut. That's where I stand on that.
Good boy.
All right, next question. Did Mike Vrabel deserve to get fired?
No.
Oh, okay. This is a juicy one.
Yeah,
I
remember where we were when he got fired 2 years ago. Now it's been a whirlwind of the last couple of years.
Year and a half.
January of 24 into the 23 season.
That's crazy that that's only been that short of a time. But
yeah,
I remember thinking that, I know you and I, Easton, on our show continued to talk about how it's kind of hard for Mike Vrabel to win with a team that bad. And I know that it hasn't really gotten much better, but after everything that happened and transpired after that Green Bay game to land them where they were in that season, it really did feel to me like you get to another free agency cycle. You get to where this team could be. I think that, I might be siding with a lot more of the national kind of outlook on Mike Vrabel, but I think that he was still a good coach and that this team was not going to be able to, even if they had to win one game, I didn't see them going that far that year into the playoffs. And so I think it was just a team that had some unfortunate luck and he got the can.
I think Vrabel deserved to get fired because I think he did the one thing that he should have known to not do to his owner, which was ask for all the control, because Amy watched her father give all that control to Jeff Fisher and it failed tremendously.
Yeah.
And he overplayed his cards, and that's something that ended up he was in a good spot, right? Like you were about to continue that, and I think he overplayed that hand.
That's where I live today, is that Vrabel, the coach, absolutely did not deserve to get fired, and it's probably going to come back to bite the Titans with his tenure in New England.
I don't know, because he's got all the control in New England.
Well,
yeah, I was about to say, we'll see how this plays out with the team that will now.
That's a double-edged sword, because
he got what he wanted.
Vrabel, the GM, absolutely did deserve to get fired, and that's the rub there. So we'll see how that goes in New England. Who wins out, the coach or the GM?
I feel like the politicking of the Titans, high level personalities, really started during the Rand Vrabel year, because Vrabel did not want Rand to be the GM. Likes Rand as a person, did not think he was ready to be GM, thought he was an assistant GM type, and wanted his guy, Ryan Cowden, right? Because Vrabel wants his guy so he can do his things. And then there was this natural rub of the two, and Rand, master politician, as we've learned, did just enough to let Vrabel kind of step on himself and go sign Andre Dillard, go do some other things that failed, and then overplayed the card at the end of the year. Vrabel's out now, then Rand's out the next year. So I think that's where this game of trying to be Amy's number one kind of started. Was John deserved to be fired. Vrabel deserved to get more leash after that, because John had tangible events that led to his firing with J-Rob. It was more like he said ways of getting let go for Vrabel and Carthon after the fact.
What a show topic for the middle of the summer to talk about how things would be different if Vrabel's desire for Ryan Cowden to be the GM had come to fruition. I think Vrabel was right about that, by the way. I think Ryan Cowden should have been made the GM that cycle.
We just did 5 weeks, Easton, of nothing.
No, I know. I'm not looking to do this. I'm just saying, in the future, if we're ever desperate
next year, because we got to see what Cowden and Vrabel do in New England to even have that conversation, right? I think that's something to put it on your calendar for June
24th.
24th. That's a good one. June 24th next year to do that. What if Vrabel actually got Cowden instead of Rand? I like that. All right. Next rapid fire question. They're getting less rapid. So Issa, I'll let you set this one up, because the actual background of this, and I don't.
JT, do you remember on Titans Twitter, I don't know, middle of July, a couple weeks ago, people were talking about, in the context of the 1 yard line Super Bowl loss, if you take that obvious play out of the Titans pantheon, and you are not, people have asked this in the comments, by the way, are you a lifelong Titans fan? You are not, which I think brings valuable insight. I enjoy having somebody around that hasn't always been a Titans fan, and is not a Titans fan, I should say, has not always paid attention to the Titans, I should say.
Yeah.
But in your memory, excluding the obvious 1 yard line Super Bowl loss, what is the Titans play that comes to mind for you that you wish they could have back? The single play. And if you need a moment to think on that, Austin and I might just have some answers.
I have one.
The one you can have a do-over on?
Yeah, you wish they could do over again.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Good question.
For me, when I was asked this question on Twitter a couple weeks ago, I'm very curious, Austin, is yours kind of an old head answer, or is it more recent?
I mean, you got to draw a line in the sand. Like what year, before what year would be an
pre or post John Robinson's tenure as a Titans GM?
Oh, J-Rob and Vrabel together is where I'm going to go.
Okay, me too. So there's a chance we have the same play.
We might have the same play.
Should we talk about our play, JT? What do you think?
Yeah, you guys go first. I'm still.
Do you want me to go first, Easton? Do you want me to describe it?
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes' 27-yard run with 11 seconds to go in the second quarter for the Chiefs to take a 21-17 lead in the AFC Championship game right before halftime.
It's the obvious answer to me.
Yeah.
And it's analytically one of the lower win probability. If you literally just do the win probability shift of that play, the fact that it is just in the second quarter.
And I've got it pulled up.
right? Like it's an impactful play in the game, but there have been more impactful single plays in recent Titans history because they've come later in the game or they've been in higher stake situations. But Austin, you know as well as I do, and JT does too, because I know that you were tuned into this. This is kind of a you had to be there play. Like in your heart of hearts, you knew it was over the minute that happened.
Yeah.
It took all of the wind out of the Titans' sails. Even though it was just halftime after that play, you knew the Titans were cooked, that Patrick Mahomes was doing it again to somebody, and this time it was to you.
You want to know the win probability difference?
I am curious.
So the Titans have this is after, the Titans with 1:42 left on the clock in the second quarter, up 17-14. The Titans have a 55% chance to win. Up 17-14, 55% chance to win. Patrick Mahomes goes 27 yards for a touchdown run with 11 seconds left on the clock for the Chiefs to go up 21-17. The Chiefs have an 83% chance to win.
Lord, that's more aggressive than I thought it was going to be.
55% chance Titans to 83% chance Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 30% swing in probability. It's pretty dramatic. So it actually, I was underselling our answer. It is a pretty high win probability play.
So that's my obvious, because I think the Titans were going to, because that was the Chiefs' first Super Bowl versus the Rams.
They have not played the Rams in the Super Bowl.
No, who did they?
Either the Eagles
they played
or the
49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the Titans could have won that game.
Yes, because I believe they had beaten both the Chiefs and the 49ers in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken. They had at least beaten the Chiefs. I know that for a fact. They may have not played the 49ers.
They beat the 49ers like a year.
I'm mixing years. I think you're right. It was a year later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. So JT, have we given you enough time to think of a play? Because there are some other answers.
I actually have two now, but the first one, which will be my actual answer, is a game that I was at, the divisional game against the Cincinnati Bengals.
I was going to be disappointed if this wasn't where you went.
You could go with any three, I think, of the interceptions that you can have back, but I think the one that really just, when you think about it and watch that game back and kind of relive that game, the back-breaking one was the Mike Hilton one, because it kind of just set a precedent for that game that, it was going to be a lot harder for either of these teams to do what they wanted to do in that game. And I know, especially with the Titans, I think it was the frustration with, there's a lot of debate about, how much Derrick Henry's involvement in that game. Like if you play, the cards right, how that could have changed, but just that Mike Hilton one for sure. Just, really, I think if you have that one back, the Titans probably end up winning that game because of just where they were on the field during that game and where they were. You didn't need a lot of points to win that game is basically the case in point there. So I think, I think that's the one that I go back to, that if you have that one back and you redo it differently, I think things then domino effect to where that team was the best team in the AFC that year. And I think that as Derrick Henry continued to come back, I think you could see him get on a little bit of a hot streak going into that playoff run, and you could see things changing there. The other one I will say.
Okay, before you go into that,
yes,
because that Mike Hilton interception, the Titans were down. You forget the Titans were down 16-6 on that drive, but they get to 1st and goal at the 9.
Yeah,
and that's when, because that was Deontay Foreman just went 45 yards down to the 9-yard line, and you're like, okay, here they go. And then 1st and goal at the 9 after that big run, the bubble screen just sniffed out by Mike Hilton, jumped the Chester Rogers bubble screen. The Chester
Rogers bubble screen.
Todd Downing, son of a
home divisional game.
Crazy. But that's a good one, because I do think, you put any points on the board right there, and what, the game could be very different. Yeah, for sure.
What'd you wear to that game, JT?
I wore.
You can no comment. You don't have to.
No comment.
You can no comment.
You don't remember, or
No, I do not actually. I remember where it was in that stadium, but
I mean, the people are going to find out eventually. So
probably. But we'll leave that for today. The other one I will say, I just think of the psychological effects and the domino that came from that one Will Levis shuffle pass in the Chicago Bears game. How better psychologically would this team be if they just won that game? How would things have turned out last year if he just doesn't shuffle past that and his head is not officially scrambled? He probably still would not have been like, even a league average quarterback, but at least he wouldn't have just become a basket case after that one. And so I think that one is also very, very funny.
That is a good one.
If you had shown me my future in that moment, I'm not sure I would have had the strength to carry on with that season. Like it was so bad in a vacuum in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But if we had known what it was going to portend for the rest of the year, that it somehow was going to get so much worse.
Yeah.
Brutal.
What about what if Derrick Henry doesn't break his foot?
Yeah.
I think that's also
which we can't pinpoint I think forensically we did find what we thought was the play where he broke his foot in that Colts game.
It was like a second carry of that game, I think.
Yeah, like he kind of hitched on the end of the run a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you can go another good one if you want to go my old head answer. If the Ravens did not twist Chris Johnson's ankle.
Good answer.
Then because they could not stop CJ that day. The divisional round of the playoffs in 2008 season going into 2009 January, CJ was running all over them, and the Ravens knew what they had to do to survive and win, and they did it. And then the wheels fell off. So TJ says that was his. That's a really good one.
9-year-old Easton was at that game, and he was ready to fight somebody.
I mean, there are some, you go back to the 0-1 game against the Ravens, which might have been a better team than the team that went to the Super Bowl, where they had the number 1 seed. It was a red end zone game. You can't pick one play from that game because there were so many wild things that happened, like the Ray Lewis ripping the football from Eddie George for a touchdown return. That's a big one, but also like 2 blocked field goals returned for touchdowns. Like, huh? Like that's ridiculous. Like, bad sports movie scripts that we're going to make Easton watch next year don't like that. Like it's that crazy, but that actually happened, which is wild. So good conversations there. All right, next one. JT, in your few years of covering the Titans, what Titans player has been your favorite to cover from a media to player relationship standpoint?
I gotta go Chigakonkwo. He's just one of my favorite guys to talk to be around when I've been at the facility talking to all those guys. Just, you can always count on him to be the undefeated ping pong trash talker in the locker room for sure. And also just a player that I continue to year over year believe that this is going to be the year that we finally unlock the potential. And I think there's good reason why it could actually be this year.
This is the year, by the way. Yeah,
I agree. I think this is the year, but he's one of my favorite players to cover over the last couple of years.
Solid. All right. Now we get to the fun stuff. So have you seen Remember the Titans? Have you seen Space Jam? Have you seen Billy Madison? And have you seen Hardball?
Yes.
All 4.
Yep.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess that's a me problem then.
How would you define Easton's ability to review old movies?
Pretentious.
Great word.
Whatever you wanted to tell yourself.
And I know we were gonna do shade. There's some shade.
We're still gonna do shade.
I know. There's some shade about the way Easton watches movies.
Which of my review of those 4 movies was the most offensive to you?
Billy Madison, I think.
Wow. All right.
That was just a childhood staple. So.
Yeah.
Whatever
And-
you people need to tell yourselves, if this had been a group activity and everyone, you two, everyone in the chat had been forced to rewatch these movies alongside me, then I think you all would have understood that your memories of these movies don't always hold up when it comes to how good they actually are. What you remember from watching it when you were 9 does not accurately reflect what the film is.
I disagree. I watched Hardball 2 nights ago, and I still cried.
Oh, I think Hardball of the 4, either Hardball or Remember the Titans are easily the 2 that still stand up.
I do agree with you. If you're ranking them 1 through 4, I think it's Remember the Titans is first, Hardball second, then Billy Madison, then Space Jam.
Okay, well,
as far as ranking the movies, but you have like failing grades on 2 of them.
No,
and I have all.
Billy Madison is a solid C. C's get degrees. Okay, it's an
especially
average
if you're
movie.
Billy Madison. Yeah.
Yes. And then Space Jam, listen, folks, go rewatch Space Jam. It does not hold up. I don't know what you remember from when you watched it. It doesn't hold up. It's a bad movie. Sorry.
No, it's not a bad movie. It's a movie with the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan. What are you talking about? Jeff, hey, welcome to the show, JT. Jeff will constantly ask us if we saw his super chat or not. He says, Big Ten Jeff, his Elks on YouTube. Follow your run key, like run key. That should be his segment for a show. Y'all are welcome for this idea. I'll take royalties. Is JT a Big Ten guy?
Double thumbs down for this idea.
Yeah, what segment is going to follow your run key? What's the content of that segment, Jeff? I don't know how you talk about
weekly interior offensive line tape breakdowns.
You want to talk about the big guys pushing and pulling? Sure, we can do that. Yeah.
Honestly, that's more of a defensive mind. You're talking about inside linebacker. Follow your run keys.
Yeah.
Did the guard pull? Where do you fill? So there you go.
Not surprised Big Ten Jeff wants to know your loyalties. Are you a Big Ten guy? What do you consider yourself even?
So my parents went to schools that did not have college football. So like our family was never a huge college football family. The one things that we grew up not liking, we don't like Notre Dame and we don't like Ohio State. Those were the 2 that were instilled in my family. Fair. Up in Cincinnati, Ohio. But my brother went to the University of South Carolina, and I've been to, I think, 6 Gamecocks games now. Go Cox.
So he's an SEC guy, Big Ten Jeff.
Yeah.
Get stuffed.
But I do like, I lean for Michigan because I think it's really, really funny that listen, I know a lot of people in my life who are Ohio State fans and they are insufferable. So anytime I can poke fun at them and I can pull for Michigan up there, I'm good with it.
I can't believe I don't know this. Austin, do we know who is Big Ten Jeff's actual team?
Ohio State.
Okay, I thought so. I wasn't sure. He does so much.
He's a massive Ohio State fan. He's also a massive Colts fan.
He is going to rescind that idea for my segment now.
See, here's what I think. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, SEC in the chat." I'm like, no, I don't like the fact that he's a South Carolina guy. I'm not like, yeah, SEC. No, I don't like South Carolina.
Not a big flag guy.
They cheated to ruin the 2022 Vol season. There's proof.
Oh,
look it up. A2Zsports.com. We've written a lot about it. They did the whole Connor Stallions thing for that game.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Austin.
And also people are saying, how am I from Cincinnati and hate Ohio? I'm not from Cincinnati. So I think that's also important. I moved to Cincinnati.
A worse state somehow.
I'm from the best state in the 50 United States, the great state of New Jersey. And I moved to
the Garden State is our best and brightest.
I think so. I think Ryan would also agree with me, but I moved to Cincinnati.
How many gardens do you people have up there?
I don't know.
A lot of hometown pride. Don't even know why you're the Garden State.
Well, speaking of gardens, somebody asking for whatever reason, what is your favorite type of salad?
That's weird. That's an interesting one. I'll go caprese salad.
Okay.
Okay. Yum.
Andre, we've already kind of established this. Is he an actual Titans fan? No, not a Titans fan. Didn't grow up a Titans fan. Cover the Titans. Know about Titans. Let's see. Any other topics to get to here, Easton, that you think?
Just a programming note. Ryan is not disappearing forever. If folks are wondering about that, he's just moving one step down the depth chart, which frankly, good for him, because I don't know if people realize this. Ryan's role on the A to Z morning show is like the 5th most important thing he does at A to Z Sports.
Ryan is doing so many things
more important than this, frankly.
Yes.
So we have greatly appreciated Ryan's help the past couple of weeks, and he'll still be around at times.
Yeah, he's just the biggest football junkie in a company of football junkies, to where it's like, okay, we need somebody to help talk about the Titans. And Ryan, you got this. He's like, let's do it.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
And so like that's just Ryan, but no, he'll still be around. Just maybe less so because he's covering Notre Dame. He's covering A to Z Sports Film Room content. He's a draft guy. He's doing all types of college football. So Ryan's got his hands full 100%. So anyway, let's any other shade time? We ready for some shade? Okay.
I've got shade, baby. Let's go to shade.
All right, time for some shade. If you got shade in the chat, share it. Let's do it. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. They will help you save money on that new ride and find the right car for you. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go. So shade time on this Tuesday. Just some other housekeeping. I keep missing Zach. No, Zach is not on in the summer. Zach will be back when the regular season begins on Mondays, like it has been the last couple of years, and that will happen. JT is a new guy. It'll be the 3 of us rotating for the majority of the time throughout the training camp season. Most of the season on game days will be the rotation of us 3. Going to have a lot of good fun, and we will absolutely find out if JT has trivia knowledge or not in due time. So, shade. Who wants to start with shade? Easton, sounds like you were pretty fired up for some shade.
I mean, yeah, folks. My shade is not, by the way, anything having to do with Paul Kaharski. I saw some people asking about that. I just give Paul a hard time on the internet. If I'm ever actually mad at Paul, you people won't see it hashed out on Twitter.com. Okay, so you can relax about that. My actual shade is the fact that this week the live action recycled garbage remake of Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion, and I'm deeply disappointed in the audience hypocrisy when it comes to these lame, lazy, cash grab, unoriginal, uncreative, dystopian remake recycled CGI garbage movies that these once great mostly children movie studios are now pumping out. I got a lot of flack for this take online because people are like, oh, Easton hates when families go and have a good time. No, I am not anti you and your family having a good time. I am anti you and your family having to settle for bad movies, because I am old enough to remember when these studios, Disney and Pixar, primarily amongst others, used to be these titans of fantastic storytelling, cranking out original movies that did a gajillion dollars at the box office because they were fantastic, mostly original ideas that were great for kids and for adults and taught us life lessons and were tight and well told. And now all they do are make these terrible remakes that are almost all just a graveyard of sadness and cash grab. The good news is that increasingly these things are doing bad at the box office. So I'm hoping that we're moving away from them. But this Lilo and Stitch, a movie that I have not seen and will not see, the fact that we are rewarding this behavior from these studios and not demanding new creative things from them the way that they used to operate is crazy town to me. So while I'm a free market guy, do what you want with your money, whatever. But I know for a fact that the vast majority of us all agree in principle that it is lame that we're just getting these recycled remakes that are almost always worse than the actual original movie. And yet you people aren't voting with your dollar. You're going and spending $1 billion on this garbage movie in theaters. And I'm the crazy one for pointing out that that's bad and lame. I don't think that's fair or true. And I just wish people would not give money to these bad movies. It's dumb. It's dumb. Demand better. Demand better from Hollywood.
I just think you're wasting a lot of energy on this.
I don't think so, because by giving $1 billion to these companies for this, we are incentivizing them, pushing ourselves deeper and deeper into this dystopian future where nothing is new, nothing is creative, nothing is original. It's all empty calories. Okay, I'm somebody that values good storytelling. I value culture. I value Western society not rapidly declining, as clearly it is, because we're giving live action Lilo and Stitch $1 billion. And I will continue to fight against the dying light of Western civilization. I think this is a frontline topic. I really do.
Okay, Burning Devil says you're right. You may be right, but I just think it's if you're worried about cash grabs at society, then you're just going to continue to be worried and upset.
Well, listen, I'm with you on that, but that is a very like I understand where you're coming from. That is a very nihilistic point of view, and not to get too big picture about society, but I think the minute that our youngest and brightest generations are immediately nihilistic in life and don't allow nihilism to creep in with age is when society officially declines. If we can't push for better, if we can't demand better, especially those amongst us that still have the energy to do so in our teens and in our 20s, then we really will just free fall into decline and our culture will die.
Just talking about the Titans president like that. All right, JT, what is your shade?
Well, I just have to say that is very funny how you went into a whole worldview kind of argument there over Stitch.
I'm a big picture guy. I'm a big picture guy. What can I say?
Yeah, I'm glad that Stitch is leading you to that worldview. There's going to be plenty of time to throw shade at Easton for his weird and outlandish thoughts on movies and movies as a whole. But I will say, and I know this is one you'll also agree with, Easton, my shade is at Mother Nature for the past couple of weeks, because as none of you know, actually, this is why I don't know why I was going to say, as some of you know, so none of you know, me and Easton play on the same rec league softball team in Nashville. And for some godforsaken reason, the only time Mother Nature has decided to reign in Nashville over the last 3.5 weeks is on Monday.
Yeah.
And not only has it only rained on Mondays, it has only rained at the time that our team is supposed to play, and only specifically over the fields at which we play. For some reason, Mother Nature has decided to target myself and Easton's softball team and nobody else
it's targeted harassment
in Nashville
by the weather.
It's crazy. And so, Mother Nature, I'm throwing shade at you because that is ridiculous.
Every Monday has been gorgeous until about 4 p.m. And then all of a sudden it's like, uh-oh. It sucks.
People are saying softball is embarrassment. Get out there with your boys and play some rec league, beer league softball and tell me that is embarrassing, because it is a lot.
It's actually a great time and you guys should try it.
That sounds great.
Easton is scared to slide. Jake says, I bet Easton is scared to slide. He absolutely
Not true. I make business decisions because I'm wearing shorts and I don't want to tear up my legs unless it really needs to be done.
Nobody needs to be sliding.
In the playoffs, get down. Otherwise.
Yeah, but you go head first.
Okay.
Right.
I respect that. I mean,
it's the whole thing. It's like,
nobody's
do you want a
wearing
concussion
helmets,
or do you want to tear your ACL? Like, do you want to scrape your leg, or do you want to dive head first into this other grown man's body?
It's a little road rash on your leg ain't going to kill anybody. But
I'll dive head first. I'll dive head first into the other grown man who's protecting home plate.
The thing about sliding in shorts is it's like a nitro button in a racing game. You kind of only get to use it once a season, because once you tear up your leg for the next month, unless you're willing to just re-tear it open, you can't slide again.
Yes. So use
it wisely. Use it wisely.
You are correct. You're correct. My shade is on the. I'm just going to continue to throw shade at Will Levis. I think I'm doubling down on my take from yesterday that Will Levis and his camp are quitting on this season, and they are trying to take their ball and go home. And I have a bold take that I texted Easton about yesterday. I'm going to save it for another show. So I'm going to use my shade to tease something forward. I think Will Levis and the decision that was made yesterday to have the shoulder surgery to end his season will have a major lasting effect on his NFL career, because I think the book will be out on him. And I think Will Levis and his people around him that helped him make this decision will come to regret this decision and how it was handled in due time. And I think it'll be a couple of years until that really comes out to fruition. But I'm going to stick my chest out there and say it that way. That's how I feel about the Will Levis decision, as we reacted to it in real time yesterday morning, 24 hours ago, and I continue to listen and see people react to it. This is a damning thing for the rest of his career, and I feel pretty strongly about that.
Yeah, I might have a different opinion on the Will Levis situation today if it weren't for the fact that I've retired from talking about Will Levis. So I guess we'll never know.
All right. Well, that is it for us on this Tuesday. A press conference is happening in about 2.5 hours at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, and both these guys will be down there, Easton Freeze and JT Runke. JT, the new guy here with A to Z Sports. They will have that content for you. And then tomorrow morning, we will be live at Titans training camp practice right before practice gets going for practice number 1. And content continues to go on from there. Make sure you hit that like button, like the show, subscribe to our channel, because you don't want to miss all of our training camp content to come throughout this next 30 days or so in the Titans world. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning on a Wednesday. Buck Rising. Is Buck tonight or you tonight, Easton?
Me tonight.
Easton tonight for prime time. Catch you guys later on. Appreciate it as always.